Gosh, the word Hollywood producer sounds frightening, and I keep explaining to people that you often get titles because of a lot of the artistic work, and you put in a lot of the time and work, and so they're like, I think 20, 30 producers, and then you get onto it. So yes, I'm an executive producer with my company Cayenne Pepper Productions, and then because we've helped out a lot even within India, I'm associate producer India. I brought in different aspects of India. We had a line production unit in Chennai, but being a local, you drew in a lot of strengths of what can be used locally, and we had this lovely elephant that was brought in Kumbakonam, and I had the good fortune to sit in with J.C. Bond, who was the editor on the film, for the India edits of making sure that certain things like touching the feet, and how we wouldn't wear shoes if a young girl is touching the feet. So just all those details, it taught me a lot on the project. Somebody said to me that, but you've never edited a film, or a producer, or you've not done this, so how would you know? And the only one who actually laughed and said, obviously you would know, is my own guru, Sonal Mansingh, because dancers in India who are trained intensely with performing artists like her. I was her first disciple. Not just a disciple, I did a dharna outside her house for 4 months before I became a student. She wasn't teaching anyone. And with that kind, I was performing with her, she'd suddenly say, get on stage, do the Shankara Bharanam Varnam. I said, but I was not told, but you got to this. Budgets were low, so you did sound, lighting, you were backstage, you were ironing, you were directing, you were choreographing, the culmination is in your mid-50s where you say, oh my God, how did I know all this? I've done TV shows in America. I was a host on a show. I was on the Bill Box show where they asked me to talk about art. I became somebody who was talking about India. They would say, oh, the Pied Piper of children, the ambassador of India, cultural, you're giving titles. What I feel is it's not many hats I've worn, they're the same. It's come from understanding Indian art, classical art, where Bharatanatyam is not separate from the history, the temples, the religion, the culture, the poetry, knowing the Vedas, knowing the Shastras, discussing the Gita Govind, by Jayadev, or Kumara Sambhavam, or writing poetry. It's all together. It's like when someone says, but you dance, but you also do yoga, but how do you know breathing? It's like saying, it's all the same. We don't have categories. A dancer in India can be a film actress. A dancer can be in theatre, because dance is from the Natya Shastra. It is a 2nd century BC treatise which says it's dance, drama, music, theatre, poetry, stage presentation, writing. These are not separate arts. And that's actually a secret I've realized, because I've had to say this so many times to people, that it's the one art. Ballet is not necessarily in the West a complete art. Indian classical dance has abhinay, the Sanskrit word meaning to carry the story towards the audience. So you're acting, you're using every muscle. Of course, in film, if you act like that, it would become overacting. But it is acting, so you would just be told to do it in a lesser manner. So it's not really different hats. I just think it's been an exciting journey. One of a creative person, performing, teaching, lecturing, and who knows where. And I've been last year working on my own script for the next film, which I'm very excited about. I often forget in the process of doing things. I'm just so passionate, I just go full guns. I don't think, oh, I should do this. I hate doing paperwork. I just say, let it evolve, let it flow, let it, I in fact was in Delhi, and I met 2-3 of the dancers I knew, and I said, listen, you're in the next film and you're doing this. And I told them the story and they said, we love it and this, that. So everyone's saying, but you should be doing casting, but you should be doing this. And I was like, why should I fix a problem when there isn't a problem? I've known these people for 30 years. I know their strengths. When I'm writing in a character, I'm putting in those strengths. So I don't try to fix something that doesn't need fixed. You know, met a lot of really amazing people in my profession over the years. Kind of put that down in a file in my head saying, I could use that person, that one's mridangam is very good, I could definitely use the ghattam for that. So, you know, it evolves, and then before you know, it stands. So yes, I'm writing the script. It's again, one of the things that I've decided with CPP that we focus on women films, women as the protagonists, and story where a woman's voice speaks out. I'm also very involved with a lot of organizations on women's empowerment, just a natural offshoot of Indian classical dance, where I used to do things for the month of March in America. It was Women's Month, so I was always ending up doing, and so it became a natural thing. I just leaned towards it. It was not something I planned. You know, always talk about Devi and the aspects of Vatsalya Shringara, you know, what is the woman? The woman as the friend, the woman as the wife, the woman as the lover, the woman as Durga, you know, the destroyer, you know. So it was just something that evolved, and so along with that, every character I would write would come out as the woman being the strong one, and from the woman's point of view. And so the next two that I'm involved with both have women. One is a kind of biopic, but I have taken liberty to put in my own input because I don't want to get inside the head of a 1905 person in, you know, in today's time and age, with people saying, the family saying, but this is not who she was, and we're hurt and we're insulted. So it is pretty much one of the stories, and the second is also based on dance. So I realize my hand flows naturally when it's about dance and culture and their stories. So I'm able to speak of the voice of the protagonist. My husband watched the film in Toronto, and I couldn't drag him to Zurich or anywhere else. He said, you know, this is not my world, and it was exciting watching it, and, you know, to see my daughter involved and, you know, doing it, and, you know, and it was great to see that he loved it, and he loved the movie, and he loved the acting, you know, and of course he and me are huge fans of Jeremy Irons. So frankly, you know, takes away the focus from everybody, because we both grew up watching Jeremy Irons, the brilliant actor, the voice of Jeremy Irons. So, and not just Jeremy, even though Stephen Fry has a smaller role. I told my daughter when she was acting, I said, frankly, just get me an autograph at Stephen Fry. And he was our Jeeves, and you know, nobody as great as Jeeves. So even when I met him, I was, and when I met him, I told him that, he's such a charming, brilliant man that it was a wonderful experience. He's more than an actor, producer, a comedian. He's pure brilliance. And he went to Cambridge. He studied at Trinity College. And he was there in Zurich. He was not there in Toronto. So with all these different people coming in, I think my husband's reaction was always, I admire, you know, Jeremy Irons, or, you know, admire Stephen Fry tremendously, because that's who we grew up, you know, in India. We both grew up in India, and those were the actors that we watched and thought that they were brilliant. Ooh, I wouldn't dream of it. There's so many amazing Bollywood producers and directors here that I'd be a babe in the woods. I wouldn't even know where to start, because every time I come and I just saw this Bajirao Mastani and all. You know, I've lived for 32 years between New York and India. My strength now has become knowing the American market, yet bringing my Indian sensibilities to it. Same way to bring the American sensibilities here. Bollywood is a formula still of, lots of beautiful stories with beautiful sets and huge budgets and song and dance. I would not dream of, stepping into that. I mean, all these Yash Raj films are just amazing. So how could I contribute? I, just wouldn't have any idea where even to begin with. And I think the market is saturated with amazing talent here. And I saw this film, Bajrangi Bhaijaan. I saw the, I'm a big fan of Kahani. I know people say, oh, but that was old. I said, but it was a great movie. It was for me no different than reading a Grisham novel. I said, I think that film is definitely something internationally can compete with any thriller. So I said, I want to see more movies like that. I don't end up seeing a lot of movies because I'm not always, you're running around. But I've seen, again, Raveena Tandon in this movie, Satta, then I saw Gulab Gang. I thought they were amazingly well-made movies, so I do enjoy watching some that I've recommended. And just last month, I saw this absolutely amazing movie, Nata Samrat with Nana Patekar, and made me excited to say that we have such great movies, I wish Hollywood could see some of them. I am 55, so for me, obviously, I mean, I have to say, I thought Amitabh Bachchan was a great actor, so what can I, we grew up on Amitabh Bachchan, and at one point we were very young when we used to see Rajesh Khanna, and but I would say my husband doesn't watch movies. He thinks Hrithik Roshan is amazing, so he's always saying, he's really a good actor, and so I think Hrithik is great. I think I saw Lagan with Amir Khan, and he's a very thoughtful actor, good actor, very thinking person. As far as acting is fairly brilliant. Then I've seen a lot of the Salman Khan movies, and he's so completely ageless. I mean, I don't know what he's on, but he's definitely ageless and ripped and I think looks the same all these years. So, he's very good at, being the kind of comedian and, balancing it. But my all-time favorite, if I have to say, whoever I thought was the most amazing actor was my Shashi Kapoor. I have to tell you, it's like, at this film festival, someone told me Shashi Kapoor is going to come and, but he's not. I said, who cares? I have images of the Shashi Kapoor, and he just was such a charming, lovely actor. So, and then I just saw Bajirao Mastani, and I think all the actors are great, and I was actually quite amazed at the subtle beauty that came out with Priyanka Chopra. I must say that she was wonderful. So, actors, actresses, India has so many of them. I think Ranveer made a great Bajirao. And then, of course, there's Nana Patekar, who's an amazing actor, which I just saw him in Nata Samrat. So, we have lots of them, lots who I've not named because media only hammers out heroes and heroines' names, so you remember. But Marathi film and theatre has some of the best actors I have ever seen. In fact, my mother sees more, and I always tell her, who's that, who's that, who's that? He's brilliant, but I can't remember the names because media is not throwing it at me. But each time I do, and she says, that's a Maharashtrian actor, that's a Maharashtrian actor. So I always say, oh, when I make a film, I must use that actor. And I have to then go back to that film and research what the name is. Oh, I'd love to, but I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, I do a theatre festival called Sadir with the CPP team does it, and me and Judy Caleb run it out of Goa. It's our 5th year, but 6th production. We brought in the Kunchu opera as well from China. We were the first group to have brought in a Chinese Kunchu opera in the history of India into both Bombay and Delhi last year at NCP and City Fort. And we're always looking at cutting edge, like the plays we are bringing in, whether it's Hamlet the Crown Prince or Katyar Kalzad Ghusli before it became a film. We took that, we took Saubhadra, Mohan Agashi's Ghashiram Kotwal. I had him and Satish Ayekar come and speak about it. I said this generation will never see it. So we had the film screened, I had him speak. I had them speak about how when Shiv Sena came in to see it that time, what was the reaction in Pune. So the audience had to feel that, everyone says today's youth is, smart doing this. I said, talk about how it was difficult at your time and talk about it, how it was, with Jabbar Patel and Satish. And so all these people came. Lilette had come with Adhe Adhure. I had Shabana Azmi's Broken Images. And Goa for the first time said, we're seeing outstanding theatre. We were always sold out, and it's not because there's such a demand. Because the CPP team, the Sadr team, literally went on a rampage from putting up every single poster on a coconut tree. Goa said, we've never seen this kind of, we didn't do any paid publicity, it was all grassroots. We got the local people involved saying, this is your festival. Come and watch it. I don't have any supporters and funding. I'm doing this because I am passionate about the arts, passionate about dance, music, theatre, good regional cinema. And I think there's so many stories to be told. And I think, there are the big Bollywood movies which are needed because it's magic, illusion. You have beautiful actresses who are stunning, and then you need also the next door girl story and stories that change and you understand what social stigmas are, like the movie with, I think Amir Khan had made, with having some kind of learning disability, or Hrithik Roshan's, that people are now aware of different learning styles and stigmas. I think actually a film should be made on stammering, because whenever I watch a movie, everyone laughs because people stammer. Haklate hain. They say ha ha ha, and then they really laugh because they find it funny. And I think that's not that over here we didn't, but in the West it would be outrageous if somebody laughed, And so since we are always in India trying to, everything that's Western is considered good, then we really should take the best of certain things. Where in the West it would be, social suicide to laugh at somebody for stammering or for limping, it would just be, I don't think anyone would talk to such people. They would be socially ostracized in any civilized environment. So that did bother me in a couple of movies when that's like comedy, where everyone laughs and I'm like, are you kidding me? So there are lots of things that, movies are watched more than other mediums, where you have the power to make that difference, to make the change. And I think a lot of directors and producers are doing that. But I understand their dilemma. They also have to earn money and get audiences in, because today the whole world is facing a challenge with YouTube and clicking and just watching a movie. So how many make an evening of going to the theatre? These are all the new age challenges for filmmakers.